Thank you, Unity Band. Well, good morning. I'm Reverend Sharon Ketchum, and I want to welcome you all here and all of you that are joining us virtually. We have self-determined protocols here for COVID. We did have a number of people this last week that tested positive, so everybody is being very careful about masking, and we have masks at the front door if you need any, and there's sanitizers on the table. And you at home, do what you need to do. We do have our coffee bar open for coffee and snacks. It's self-serve. We know that everybody here is empowered to do what they need, and I highly encourage you to consider being host for a day. You could just sign up. On the snack table back there, there's a little sign-up sheet to take a Sunday to make coffee and help clean up afterwards. It's just a great way to be of service. Everybody likes to kind of join in a little cup of coffee on Sunday morning. Our prayer team is active, and our prayer box is over by the door where you came in. If you have a prayer request, celebration, or concern, our prayer team will pray with you for the next 30 days and forward it on to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. So you have a whole army of support, whatever's going on in your life. We stay updated on social media, Facebook, our website, emails we respond to, or phone, or even in person, if you have any question on anything. And if you're new to Unity, love you to fill out the connection card on the table, or if you're online, to send me an email, or you can even write a note in on YouTube. We have a virtual usher, greeter, host on YouTube that will actually respond to you live. See how that goes. So, my morning coffee is a prayer for health and wholeness, because I am deeply into the healing stage. A lot of us are. So let's affirm together. Here I am, spirit, celebrating life. The individual cells of my body are free to unite together to support me in health and wholeness. Ownership of disease is a defamation of our character. I release any thoughts of dis-ease and affirm my strength and resiliency. Stronger together, every organ of my body strives to work in harmony as one living system, reverberating and regenerating as part of the universal life force. Wholeness and vitality are made manifest within me, through me, and as me, and so it is. Amen. Boy, talk about coffee for the morning. That does it. Unity has a mission to spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and with all creation. And it comes from our vision statement, where we see a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Shared is so important. It's not like there's a right answer, but it's honoring ourselves and each other, whatever path we are on and wherever we are on that path. So let us affirm together. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. We're going to take a moment to bring our conscience together in song. Greg?
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. our thoughts, our prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
As we just breathe into that harmony of our joint consciousness, we like to pray for our neighbors. I'm praying for Deb today. It's her birthday. We're celebrating Deb, and we have Corbin here playing, bringing a little of visual youth. I mean, we're all youthful, but, you know, the little ones that just brings that little joy to our hearts. I'm holding in prayer Dallas. They got quite flooded this week, which is really unusual to think of Dallas as a flood zone. And of course, our Unity Church out in Nanaimo that are recovering from their fire a week ago. So if you have any concerns around the world or neighbors, if you want to shout out or hold it in your heart, let's just take a moment of silence as we turn within and hold that big basket of our heart open so that we might exude the love that we are, to lift up others around this planet, our neighbors near and far, those in joy, those in concerns, those healing, those helping. We look to find that new way to harmonize with nature as our planet goes through its shift to equalize. We look to find a path to peace where there is conflict, and to strengthen that peace, that there might be a sense of safety and security for shelter, for food, for life itself in all areas of our world. And so it is. Amen. And now let's pray for us, Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing, as we affirm, with a heart full of gratitude for the many blessings which continue to pour down upon us, Unity Spiritual Center responds to the loving urgings of Spirit in our thoughts, words, and actions. We are enlivened to be of service. We are engaged with what really matters. We are teachable and growable as we thrive in fulfilling our sacred calling. Reaching in, we reach out to truly be a force of good in our world. And so it is. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste. Did I say that the potluck was canceled? No, okay. The potluck was canceled today because of the COVID outbreaks, and we just thought it was safer not to have everybody joining together with food. So if you came for a potluck, can you give us a rain check? We will do it again. We just have all learned to be flexible and fluid during these unusual times of growth and experience. So, but we do have some great snacks there. Not the same as a potluck, but anyway. So, a little conversation at the table. You know, the Garden of Eden is like present this massive thing that has everything you could ever want. So what would be in your Garden of Eden? What would you want in your Garden of Eden?
Wow, that's a hard one.
Chocolate. I want a chocolate tree.
Chocolate tree.
Yeah.
Just, peace.
Oh, peace. That would be nice. A little running water.
Exactly. I was just thinking that too, like a little creek running by.
Yeah.
Trees like what we have out here.
The willows moving. Yeah.
Yesterday was gorgeous, cloudless sky. We could have some more of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, perfect weather.
Yep.
Well, that has to include some rain to be perfect for the plants.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Well, as you're thinking about all that good, we're going to join together in song, going up to that higher place.
Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up to a this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place.
Good morning. I'm Sybil Spencer, your plant floor assistant for the day. Our daily word purpose is inspired by the Gospel of John. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Over the course of our lives, we have discovered what has kindled our passions, captivated our attention, and made us feel most alive. Our passions lead us to discover our purpose, to which we choose to devote our time and our lives. Our highest spiritual purpose is to live from our divine nature. Our divine gifts of life, love, and wisdom expressed uniquely through our passions, fulfilling us while demonstrating the truth of our being. We listen to the still small voice of spirit within to discern the best way to fill our purpose. We heed its call to learn, discover, and grow. It is never too early or too late to embark upon the journey of a lifetime. We are already willing and more than able. Let's affirm together, I prefer my pursuit with passion. August is Glad's month, Gladiolos. So how appropriate that we are focusing on our core value of joyfulness. Joyfulness is our true nature, an artesian well at the core of our being. We can live with this core value by taking time to laugh and play and childlike wonder, connect with others in the friendship, and choosing to be optimistic. We sing together, laugh together, and sometimes even dance together. Let us affirm our core value together. With playful expression, we celebrate life, love, and abundance. Sundays at 9:30 a.m., Unity offers Sunday adult learning time, or what we call SALT. Next Sunday, Board President Dan Maynard will give an introduction to our fall series, A Course in Abundance. A Course in Abundance is a Zoom class that we are doing in conjunction with Maureen Muldoon's group, the Speakeasy community in Chicago. So we are looking forward to having a rich mixture of people, some we know and some we're yet to meet. The Lunch Bunch is a social group that is open to everyone. They meet monthly at a local restaurant. Friday, September 2nd at 1 p.m., the group is meeting at Los Tres Amigos at 5010 West Saginaw Highway. It is helpful to contact Nancy Clater or the church office so we can reserve enough seats. But if you become free at the last minute, drop-ins are always welcome. On Thursday, September 8th, the weekly group studying A Course in Miracles begins again. The class will meet at 7 p.m. every Thursday in the Unity Zoom room. This fall, facilitators Dan and Carol Maynard will take the group through a review of chapters 1 through 50 in the student workbook. On your tables are flyers for our October Quantum Healing Day. We'd love your help in getting the word out to potential vendors. There are some handy flyers on the table which you can share with friends. We have a goal of 30 vendors. Let's make this happen. On each table, there are several strip sheets with information about September activities. Please take one for easy reference. Additional information on our activities and teams can be found on our website, our weekly e-news, and our information rack. If you have any questions or would like to sign up for the weekly e-news, leave a message with the church office by phone or email, or use the connection cards on your table. It's now my pleasure to invite Winalee Zeeb to share some special music with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to share two selections by Gary Lynn Floyd today.
Faith, love, and wisdom, the power to be, all has been given, living in me. Now and forever, I will be free, here in this moment. Oh
Yeah. Ooh. What a lovely choice for songs there. Mm-hmm. Infinitely. And we're going to talk about the infinite. So we're starting, we are now in this wonderful campus. But it has struck me that our minds are still the size of Home Street. So I thought, what could we do to grow into ourselves? When you're small, you don't just automatically be able to think big. I thought, we're going to do a series on prosperity consciousness, and that covers the whole thing. And I want to start with real basics, a genesis of Millionaires. When I was going through ministerial school, one of my favorite authors, the first author that I read even before ministerial school was The Prospering Power of Love by Catherine Ponder. And every year in ministerial school, she would donate some of her jewelry. And I would save up each year for the auction so I could buy a piece for me. So she just has this wonderful consciousness of prosperity. She says a lot of times when we're doing our spiritual work, we think the idea of prosperity, of having, and when I'm talking about having, I'm talking about having health, having relationships, having finances to do what you want to do, having a great creative outlet or a career that you're working on, that something's wrong about that. We've picked up these ideas of limitations. So we're going to do this, we're going to kind of wander around the Bible. And now that's another big thing. A lot of people are kind of afraid of the Bible. And when I first started talking on Sundays, being a minister, if I wanted to make the congregation really stand up, I would pull out the Bible, open it up and hold it there. Everybody is just scared to death. Because, unfortunately, the Bible's been used to hit a lot of people over the head as opposed to delve into it and kind of get the really great messages that are in there that have been gathered by tons of people over eons. So this is going to be kind of an interesting series. When you came in today, I hope you all got $1 million. Does anybody not get their $1 million? Oh, there's some $1 million needs over here. Marilyn's going to bring you some $1 million. Isn't that nice, just to hand out some $1 million? And during this time, you're going to get $1 million every week. And on the back, there's an invitation to write down your blessings during the week. And then at the bottom of it, put down a number, what you think your blessings are. And next week, there's going to be a special blessing. I haven't quite decided how we'll do this, but I have some gold $1 million. Aren't these incredible? Wouldn't you like that in your wallet? And I think it's going to be something about the number of blessings you have. I'll figure this out. I'll be guided on how we're going to distribute these, but you'll have a lot of shots to get those. So, it's the idea of the genesis of millionaires. I did some research on the word millionaire, and do you know that the number for $1 million didn't exist until we needed it? So, think about it. If you've never considered $1 million of anything, why do you need a word to explain it? So they had hundreds, and they had thousands, and tens of thousands, and 100,000, and finally they had 1,000 thousands, the grand thousand. They needed a word for this. Now we have millions and quadrillions and all these other illions out there. But it just really struck me, isn't that strange? We didn't have the word until we needed it. That's just how the universe works. We don't... Oh, sorry, I got to sit down on this. I'm getting close to standing for it. But, so we don't have what we need until we need it. The universe supplies. When we're ready, we evolve to this next level of thinking. And the root of this really comes from an idea of abundance and happiness, that fullness, that Garden of Edenness. And Genesis means about a beginning, about an evolving, about initiating action. If you think about it, we are always in a state of Genesis. We are always at the beginning of something, whether it's the beginning of going for a walk or at the beginning of a new part of our life, a new year in our life, on our birthday, or, we're always into the beginning of initiating an action. Now, changing our consciousness from the small community consciousness to having a unity campus isn't like saying abracadabra and poof, we have it. our consciousness expanded. You know what happens if you put a lot of air into a balloon really fast? It breaks. When you blow a balloon up, you blow it up gradually, and it adjusts as you're putting more into it. Just the same way with us, getting our consciousness into that way of adjusting, to think of ourselves differently, to think of what's really capable and easy. And I mean, for me, I'm still getting it that we have 85 parking places. We used to have 12 if we squeezed together. You know, and you park on the road, and then the neighbors would get upset, and so there was always kind of a cringe about parking. So trying to be just at ease about parking now. It's funny if you watch yourself, the little things that you need to adjust to. So in the Bible, Genesis, the beginning of Genesis, it starts with 7 allegories. These are not meant to be historical. These are allegories to explain a truth that's too big to explain, like the creation of the world. You know, it's a little hard to explain that in just an easy, understandable way. And there's 2 creation stories at the beginning of the Bible. And if we look at it metaphysically, it's the creation in the mind, and the second one is the manifestation, the process. So the 2 stories are similar, but they're slightly different, and they give us great steps for how to really manifest abundance, the Garden of Eden in our own lives. And then, after the creation story, we hear all the ways in the allegories of how we move from prosperity consciousness to lack consciousness. There is the fall, the expulsion, the flood, Noah gets drunk, and the Tower of Babel. So these are the truths that we have stepped up onto ourselves to knock ourselves out of the Garden of Eden. So the antithesis of abundance certainly is poverty or lack. And it's lack in any areas of our life. Prosperity is not about finances. I think we look at finances because it's so measurable. It's numbers and it's measurable. But think about, I know right now health is a really big thing for me. I want prosperity of health, an abundance of health as I'm through this healing. If we don't have friends, relationships, a lack in that is a poverty to our souls. There's something missing in our life. And Charles Fillmore said that in the great mind of God, there is no thought of lack. See, something we made up. And such a thought has no rightful place in your mind. It is your birthright to be prosperous regardless of who you are or where you may be. Our birthright to prosper, to do well, to enjoy life. That's a huge, huge concept. So the creation story is about the manifestation of prosperity, prospering, of being abundance, of really living the fullness of life. And the 7 days of creation, this first study of the 7 days, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of these 7 steps of creation, of all the stuff that happens in our mind. In the beginning, God started creation. That's the power of the spoken word, the power to get things moving. The first day, let there be light. You want to be able to see light, inspiration, and that's like our power of zeal and also order. Like the balloon, you just go poof and it breaks. No, there's that slow, gradual movement of creation, of change. The second day said, let there be a vault that separates the waters of the sky from the waters of the earth. Kind of a vault. So it's creating the sky. And that's like renunciation, being able to say, this goes here and this doesn't go here. There was a separation. And we know that sometimes we have to know what to eliminate or what to separate in our lives to make things work for us. The third day, let there be dry land, seas, and then there was plants and flowers, and that dry land is the firmament, our affirmations, our faith, if you will, and then that growing of the plants and the trees, that is our strength. I think that wonderful strength of that little green that bursts through the ground. You see the ground all broken around it, and this little tiny plant that looks so fragile, yet it has this great strength. Then the fourth day, let there be lights of the night and lights of the day, so we can tell the difference between night and day. And these represent the idea of will, being willing, and understanding. And I'm not going to go into all the powers, but just kind of give you an overview. The fifth day, let there be creatures of the air and of the sea. And that represents our imagination and also wisdom. The thoughts of the creatures of the air are like our thoughts, or the fish of the sea. We have so many thoughts. Our imagination has no limits. So you start seeing this fullness of creation happening within our consciousness. The seventh day, let there be animals and humans, giving life to these ideas. And then the important part, rest. Let it go. Let it go. Don't stop. So that's sometimes, I think that's the love part. Just love being, and that genesis, that initiation of action. Things have started to change in consciousness. And here's the key idea. After each day, the Bible says, God said it was good. Every time you see one of those keys, this is the key idea. God said it was good. Some things are easier to say, this is good, than others. Our practice is to be able to start learning to find a way to call things all good. We may not be able to say the bigger picture, but if we understand there's only one power and presence, then we can call it good because God is in there. Maybe not to our liking, maybe not, things are not happening the way that we would desire, but there is ultimately a good process. You know, that old saying, in the end it's all good. If it's not good, it's not the end. Yeah. So then we get to, so we have this garden though within us very often, that thoughts of lack or limitation. All those things that kicked us out of the Garden of Eden. So we have the fall from favoritism. Adam and Eve were in the garden, and Eve was enticed by the snake to take a bite of the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And in that fall, there was this attachment, this idea of duality, knowledge of good and evil, knowledge of yin and yang, knowledge of this duality, and with it came shame, right? Because all of a sudden in duality comes, there is God and goodness, and here is me. If God is good, therefore I must not be good. There's that shame that we have picked up from some piece of knowledge we got from eating something that didn't set well with us, and we didn't know it at the time. We digested it anyway, and it's just back there like a little tape. So then they were expelled from the Garden of Eden. Big angels with swords supposedly were put up there. Really a sense of loss of worth. You had everything and lost it. Well, of course, because I am worthless. I have no worth. I don't deserve the good. I don't deserve the good. I make mistakes, therefore good things shouldn't happen to me. I make mistakes, therefore I should suffer. Anybody recognize those trains of thoughts? So then things are really messed up, and we bring in the flood. Let's start again and bring in a flood and just knock it all out. Just take it all out, except for a few things we're going to save. We're going to save in the ark. All right? That's that attempt at freedom, thinking that we can just cut off all that old thinking without doing the work. To get rid of the shadow. How do you get rid of your shadow? Standing in the light, but it's still there. It's still there as soon as you take another step. So you need to embrace it and work with it. The shadow's not bad. That's back to that duality of thinking that there's good and evil. And then Noah gets drunk. And I can tell who read the Bible and who didn't, because some of you aren't believing me. There's a story in there about Noah getting drunk. Well, wouldn't you, after you got off that ark with all the animals and your family that you've been in for months and months and months? Anyway, but we get intoxicated on our own power. I'm going to do it myself. Things were so messed up, we had to wipe out everything. If I'm in control, it'll be okay, right? I can do it all. I don't need any help. God's busy doing other things, so I will just take it on myself. And you just really get intoxicated with that self-power all by yourself out there. Until finally we get to the Tower of Babel, this tower they built to bring everybody together to be able to reach to the heavens, to reach to God. And all of a sudden, they couldn't understand each other. They all spoke different languages. And as we strive to do it separately, as we strive to do it individually, we don't understand others because we've stopped listening. We've stopped just being there with an open heart. We've stopped being in that Garden of Eden, that garden of love, and think of others, right? Think about how our world is right now. We have so many thoughts of others. There's us and there's others. So those are the thoughts that get us, once we allow ourselves to be expelled from the garden. So, I missed that little line. I forgot to tell you, when you have thoughts of lack, there's only one thought of lack that you are allowed to have. Cadillac. Oh, I know. It was just so horny. I missed it back on the other slide. So Charles Fillmore says, we can train our thoughts so they will promote God's original plan in the earth. Since God pronounced everything good that he made, should we not cooperate by also calling it good? I love this idea of cooperating with that creative force. Shouldn't we cooperate by also calling it good? Life is filled with what we choose to put into it. Good thoughts and good words produce good experiences. And, you know, I had done some stuff on this series back in 2003. And the week before we started, I heard my first millionaire story of one of our congregants. And they had gotten $1 million family. They had adopted a little boy and a little girl. And it was a story of them meeting the foster parents, of meeting the kids for the first time, of taking them out, getting them ice cream, just doing all those things you do. I think they were probably 4 and 6 then. And the story was just so touching. I happened to come across it last night. And I sent it to the mother. And I said, I came across this, Kathy, and I just thought you might want to read it again, because it's almost 20 years. And she thanked me so much because she was having a really bad day. And that just reminded her of those diamond moments that you have. It turned out the kids were FAS, fetal alcohol syndrome. So it's been a tough road. And so when you have those, you know, life is both. It's not either or, it's both. It's the whole thing. And isn't it funny how I just happened to find that old file and send it to her just in a day when she needed it. I just love how God works. Anyway, so we think of Adam as the first millionaire. And think about it, in the Bible it says he's made from the dust of the earth. And when we do funerals, we talk about ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You know, to dust you return. And there's something kind of yucky about being made of the dirt. There's kind of that, kind of, you know what I mean? But really, I mean, soil is incredible. This is the stuff that grows our food. This is the stuff we stand on. This is the stuff the universe is made of. This is radiant substance. This is amazing stuff. Adam was made of the dust of the earth. Adam was made of amazing stuff. So sometimes we have been taught that Adam is just a sinner, born in sin. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, Adam is just radiant. It's his creation of God itself. And we look at Adam as our thinking nature, as that divine idea that comes into our mind, right from God's mind into our mind. In the story of Genesis, Adam was given dominion over everything. The fact that we can think gives us a sense of dominion over everything. Wow. How could we think that was awful? How could we think that was an original sin? The error happened when Adam misused his power, when he thought there was 2 instead of 1. So eating the apple is kind of the misuse of our intellect, appropriating. There's a lot of things we can learn. But truth we know. Truth we know that there is only one. And then Eve represents our feeling nature. And Eve was having this feeling of less than, that something about the forbidden tree, that she really wanted to have this more knowledge, she wanted to be smarter, and then feeling lesser herself and feeling the shame, those feelings of unworthiness. So, here we go. That's the only lack we should experience is the Cadillac. Okay. So it's about, do we have a prosperity consciousness or a poverty consciousness? Are we thinking, do we look at what we don't have? And I'll tell you one that I fault myself with. I have to-do lists, and I have a tendency to look at what I still have to do as opposed to celebrating what I did. That is a consciousness lack of time, right? Because I'm writing off well, that's done, so it doesn't count. No, it does count. You know, having that prosperity to celebrate. Heck, I did that. I got that done. This is really good. So health, relationships, careers or creativity, we all need that creative outlet, whether it be whistling, whether it be gardening, we each have our own thing. Decorating cookies, that's good. So in our finances, and also to be prosperous in our spirituality. To be prosperous in our spirituality so that we really have that warm, intimate relationship with spirit, with the divine creative force. Now we can see, you look around here, we are surrounded by incredible abundance. And many of us also have the WASP work ethic, that you have to toil really hard. WASP is White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. And I know in our family, you had to work hard, long days, the sweat of your brow, whether we came from a family of coal miners or working in factories, doing piecework. And you get into this thing that if I don't have enough, I'm not working hard enough, so you work harder. But working harder is like working on the outside. The work that needs to come is on the inside. Tilling the soil is tilling the soil of the universe of laws, the universe of response, the universe of the creative power within us. And if you think about it, the way things grow in nature, the flower doesn't unfold by force. You can't take a hammer and nail and make that flower unfold. It's about learning to have that wisdom and that love to allow things to open up and to be more of what it's meant to be. There's a story about a young man who goes up to a Zen master and says, "How long will it take me to be a master swordsman?" The Zen master says, 10 years. The guy says, "What if I work really hard?" He says, 30 years. That's the story of our spirituality. When we start working at it, doing that toil, that labor, that painstaking approach to life, we're right back there and getting drunk on our own power, and not really connecting with the universe on that. So the expulsion from the Garden of Eden, they're kicked out. Adam and Eve are kicked out into this brand new world. Einstein says, what's the most important question we can ask ourselves? Is the universe a friendly place? Is the universe a friendly place? Think about how you feel. No matter what religion you were raised with, no matter what you believe now, ultimately, how you answer that question tells you a lot about your life. Is the universe a friendly place? Because if it is, wow! And you're out there with a team and cheerleaders, way to go. And if you think it's not, whoa! It's dangerous no matter where you go. There is no safe place. So it's like, if you go to a restaurant or you go to a buffet, you get to choose what you want to create and like. And sometimes we make mistakes, and that's okay, because we can choose again. If you go to a buffet, you can go up and get something else. Sometimes our tastes just change. With COVID, sometimes we lose our taste. Who knows? So here's the key. You are not the exception to being one with this prosperous universe, because you are exceptional. Each one of us is totally unique. There is not another duplicate of us in the entire world, nor has there ever been. You are so exceptional. I should have everybody wearing a t-shirt saying, "I am exceptional. So are you." Yeah. Would it be okay if life got easier? Would it be okay not to toil by the sweat of your brow and start doing that work to relax and allow the flower to open? Divine substance, everywhere present. Divine substance, Charles Fillmore talked about, it's that which stands under everything we see. As we get into quantum physics, we understand it's that beyond the quirks of the quarks, the little movement, the vibration is beyond everything we see. And those little quirks and quarks, the very vibration of everything that we perceive, is impacted entirely by the quirks of vibrations of our thinking, of our minds, of the words that we speak. Norman Vincent Peale hasn't been around for a while, but I got great comfort by reading this line of his. He said, "America is in such a state, everybody is so worried and so nervous and so upset that nobody's fallen asleep in church for a long time. And that's not a good thing." Now, knowing that whatever was going on when he said that we do have that whole thing of that fear and that worry, and yet that same divine substance is still everywhere present, just waiting for us to allow it to be our neighborhood. Louise Hay, another great New Thought teacher, said, to take responsibility for our lives, you need to take responsibility for our mouths. Speak words of truth. Call it good. And in the Talmud, and if you haven't ever touched on the Talmud, the Jewish religion has the Torah, which tells all these lessons. And then the different rabbis had great dissertations trying to understand what was in the Torah, and that's called the Talmud. And in the Talmud it said, examine the contents, not the bottle. Examine the contents, not the bottle. So whatever we see going on out there, that is the bottle. What we want is the contents, that divine connection. We want to really understand our place in that Garden of Eden. So the genesis of a millionaire experience, from Adam, everything is made from divine substance. The dirt, made from the dirt, the soil of the earth, the essence of the universe. And it's our responsibility, we've been given dominion, it's our responsibility to call it good, to plant seeds for our Garden of Eden consciousness. So, let's do some seed work for millionaires here. We're going to affirm prosperous thoughts to seed our garden together. God is the one and only source of my supply of health, wealth, creativity, relationships, and spirituality. I am astride with the upward progressive movement of life. Sustained and prospered by the infinite riches of divine spirit, I call it good. And count your blessings. Okay, we take a little time to go into meditation here. Greg's going to lead us in a morning prayer. I will surrender. Surrender day tonight. See the stars. Yeah.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fears that block my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment of the day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free. As I continue walking in this mystery.
Take that deep breath in. Let there be breath. Let there be that light of inspiration awakening within us. Wherever we had that misconception of limitation, wherever we absorbed that error thought of lack, in this moment, we are able to shine a divine light within not only our thinking and feeling nature, but in that very vibration of lack within the cells of our bodies. There is a quickening within us that begins to bring us back into that pure vibration of life. Life that is always progressive, upward strides, with ease and with grace. This is a process of God's speed. Bit by bit, our thinking, our feeling moves into that direction of our divine inheritance. There is no force. There is no pressure. Simply the willingness to be in the flow, knowing that
deep surety of knowing with every cell of our being that we are never alone, that we are provided for in sometimes mysterious but always wonderful ways, that we are a co-creator of this incredible neighborhood we call Earth, that we are spiritual beings learning and growing through this human experience. Whatever it is, we call it good. Whatever appears, we ask to see the good. And when we look in the mirror, let us know that we too are good, exceptionally good. And so it is. Amen.
Infinite Spirit, source of all life, we are endowed with your holy light. We are connected and Spirit filled. May we remember to live by your will. You have provided our every need. May we forgive all errors perceived. May we in darkness turn to the light, seeking your wisdom, vision and light, trusting your guidance in every ordeal. The power of love, our sword and our shield. Your power and glory to be revealed. Sing praise to your Spirit forever.
You know, we've sung Lucille's prayer song there several times, and I love that every talk makes the song has the same words, but it means different every time we sing it. So it's like I've heard so many versions of the song, Lucille, as it ties in with the talk. I mean, it's amazing how our minds and inspiration work that way. Well, okay, spiritual practice for the week. I love this picture of the tree that was cut down, supposedly dead, and there comes that new sprout. So be your true self, exceptional. Count your blessings and call it all good. I'm going to call it all good because I get to call Winalee back up here for another wonderful musical gift.
wouldn't be surprised if peace broke out all over. I wouldn't be surprised if I found a four-leaf clover, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. I wouldn't be surprised if we put an end to hunger. I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept getting younger, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised if I found out every answer. I won't be surprised when we find a cure for cancer, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Winalee. This is a time during our Sunday service when we engage in the sacred practice of generosity. Our Unity community is in constant appreciation to each of you for your support, coming to Unity through many channels, online, mail, and love offerings shared in person. Our circle of generosity includes an act of gratitude for these many gifts by sharing of our gifts with others. A portion of our tithes this quarter will be sent to Carefree Medical in support of them providing care for those who would otherwise go without. Let us take a moment to deeply immerse ourselves in gratitude by singing, I Am So Blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
The circle of generosity is the sacred exchange of giving and receiving. With joy and enthusiasm, we each become part of that sacred exchange, sharing of our blessings to complete the circle. If you are sharing in person, you can leave your love offering and envelope in the glass jar on the table when you are complete with blessing it. The ushers will collect them following service. On that same glass jar and on the broadcast screen is a QR code you can use to donate through PayPal using your cell phone. Whether we are sharing online, in person, or through the mail, allow the power of generosity to flow through you as make this sacred act of giving. We set our consciousness in abundance by blessing our gifts with this affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Praise, give thanks, and am glad. For this month, we are bringing out a Unity favorite in honor of the One World theme for the summer, Weave. Let's stand as we weave together, followed by the prayer of protection.
Weave, weave, weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave, weave, weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me meets the Christ in thee in one great family. Weave, weave, weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave, weave, weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is